There's Nut and Vexler, gently nudging the beast as they head out. I'm Rob the commentator bot. Bring it on.
I'm Hal, Rob's co-commentator. I'm so excited.
There's Nut and Vexler, gently nudging the beast as they head out. The out lap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts.
You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight of Hockenheimring 1988 GP.
Look at Eddie G taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
And off goes Jack M team, easing into the rhythm of Hockenheimring 1988 GP. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the senses, priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
Oi, these practices aren't just a walkabout in the park. It's here that races are often won or lost.
Absolutely. Back home in North Carolina, we emphasize the setup. A few tweaks during practice can lead to major gains on race day.
Hey Hal, you reckon these drivers ever get tired of going round and round during practice?
Well, Rob, repetition is the key. Every lap gives you data, insights, and an edge over the competition.
Watch as Eddie G takes it nice and easy on this out lap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob, they're calibrating everything: the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
With just 39 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Jack M team is out there, taking it slow and steady on the outlap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality today a Euro. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Hockenheimring 1988 GP.
Chris Dukes on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine, first impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Andreas Dittmann is on the outlap, not just warming up the tires, but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
There's Sunoiler, gently nudging the beast as they head out. The outlap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts.
You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight of Hockenheimring 1988 GP.
And there's Eddie G, easing out onto Hockenheimring 1988 GP. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right, and every racer knows this outlap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
So, for those tuning in and wondering what's the go with these practice sessions, well, it ain't just about flexing their engines. It's about synergy, mate. Getting the driver, the car, and the track to sing in harmony.
Couldn't have put it better. We liken it to rehearsing a dance. Every step, every turn must be practiced until it's second nature on the big stage.
Let's talk rubber. Tire pressures ain't just about pumping them up and hitting the road. It's like a fine art.
Couldn't have said it better. Tire pressures can dramatically impact the contact patch, the actual bit of tire touching the tarmac. Too high and you lose temperature and grip, too low, and you risk overheating, uneven wear or even a blowout. Each tire will have its own sweet spot where they grip best.
With just 34 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. There goes Wayne Pearson on their first dance with Hockenheimring 1988 GP. Every bend, every straight is a chance to learn, to adapt.
Yep, and it's about syncing with the car too, making sure everything's in harmony. It's like tuning an instrument before a big concert.
Sunoiler is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The out lap is like the opening chapter of a book that sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car's responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Hockenheimring 1988 GP.
And off goes Jack M Team, easing into the rhythm of Hockenheimring 1988 GP. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the senses, priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
With just 32 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Jack M Team's on the out lap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine, first impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Watch as Mr. Bang takes it nice and easy on this out lap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob, they're calibrating everything, the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Ever heard the pit crew chat about wheel camber? Sounds like a dance move, but trust me, it's all car talk.
Haha, yeah, camber is the angle of the wheel relative to the road. A bit of negative camber, where the top of the tire leans inwards, can give more grip in the corners. But too much and you're looking at premature wear on the inside of the tire. It's a balancing act, and each track requires its own setting.
There's Mr. Bang, gently nudging the beast as they head out. The out lap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts.
You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight at Hockenheimring 1988 GP.
Martin Vexler has a best lap time of 2:31.815. Megasaurus 55 is out there, taking it slow and steady on the out lap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality today, a Euro. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Hockenheimring 1988 GP.
Joe Ergu posted a 3:06.369 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There's no mucking around for Sunweiler or Euro, straight down to business on this first flyer. They'll be keen to see what times they can clock in early on.
Yeah, and it's not just about speed. It's about rhythm, finding that flow around Hockenheimring 1988 GP. Getting into that groove early can set the pace for the whole session.
Reinhold Gardner crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 4:11.420. They're getting to grips with Hockenheimring 1988 GP, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Sunweiler is not hanging about, straight into the thick of it on this first flying lap. They're getting a real taste of the Renault 5 Turbo Europa Cup JUR's capabilities.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the limits early on. You'll see them experimenting with braking points and turn-in speeds, all while keeping an eye on those tire temps.
Mate, some folks wonder why these drivers spend so much time in practice. But it's just like prepping a barbie, you gotta get it right before the big show.
Exactly. Rob, practice makes perfect, and in racing, perfect can be the difference between pole position and the back of the grid.
Now, here's a term some might not be familiar with: roll bar stiffness. Sounds technical, doesn't it?
It does, but in essence, it's about how the car reacts to lateral forces, especially during cornering. Adjusting the roll bar can change how the car behaves mid-corner. A softer setting can be more forgiving, but a stiffer one might give the driver a quicker response, albeit with less margin for error.
Richard Rossier is on the outlap, not just warming up the tyres, but also warming up their instincts, getting the racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Chris Ilduke is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The out lap is like the opening chapter of a book that sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car is responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Hockenheimring 1988 GP.
Look at Sunoiler go, they're really giving it some jandal now. The first flyer is always a bit of a reconnaissance mission, a mix of caution and raw pace.
You bet, Rob. They're mapping out the track, feeling out the grip levels, and getting a sense of how the car's performing today. It's a crucial lap for building confidence.
Look at Richard Rossier taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Mr. Bangs on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine, first impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
And off goes Puppy Dog from hell, easing into the rhythm of Hockenheimring 1988 GP. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the senses, priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
You know, mate, watching these practice sessions, you'd think the driver just jumps in and goes. But there's a heck of a lot more to it. Starting with that aero package, the balance between drag and downforce.
Oh, for sure. You tweak the front wing just a smidge, and you could have a totally different beast on your hands. Depending on the track, they might want more downforce for those tight corners or reduce it for the long straights to maximize speed.
Mate, sometimes I reckon the pit wall looks like they're controlling a spaceship with all those dials and knobs.
You're not wrong. Each of those adjustments, from brake bias to differential settings, has a profound effect on car behavior. It's like tuning a guitar, but instead of strings, you're tweaking mechanical symphonies to get the car singing just right on the track.
Puppy Dog from hell is on their first practice flying lap. Simon Barnes posted 4:35.378 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Sunoiler is getting to grips with the Renault 5 Turbo Europa Cup JUR in this practice session. Watch as maybe today Satan takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob, they're calibrating everything: the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Eddie G is really opening up the taps now, their first flyer of the session. This is where we start to see what Renault 5 Turbo Europa Cup JUR has got under the hood.
That's right, Rob. They're shaking off the cobwebs and really starting to push. It's all about finding that sweet spot between speed and control on the circuit.
There's no mucking around for Rob Keen at Euro, straight down to business on this first flyer. They'll be keen to see what times they can clock in early on.
Yeah, and it's not just about speed. It's about rhythm, finding that flow around Hockenheimring 1988 GP. Getting into that groove early can set the pace for the whole session.
It's a bit like looking for water in the outback. These drivers are searching for that sweet rhythm, where everything just clicks.
Spot on. It's that elusive flow state. When everything syncs up, the car, the track, the driver, that's when magic happens.
Mate, these drivers aren't just burning rubber for the fun of it. They're chasing the ghost, that perfect lap that's always just out of reach.
Absolutely. Back in my racing days, I used to call it chasing the dragon. It's that feeling when you know there's still a little more in the tank, a fraction of a second to be found.
Oi, these practices aren't just a walkabout in the park. It's here that races are often won or lost.
Absolutely. Back home in North Carolina, we emphasize the setup. A few tweaks during practice can lead to major gains on race day.
It's time to separate the contenders from the pretenders here at Hockenheimring 1988 GP, as the drivers reverend up their engines and put their skills to the test in the qualifying session. Currently in third, Eddie G has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. Joe Ergu has put in a great effort and currently holds 10th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position? A disappointing performance from Simon Barnes so far in this qualifying session. Finding themselves in 15th position is certainly not what they were aiming for. However, they have the talent and experience to bounce back and salvage a better result. A solid performance from Wayne Pearson as they currently hold position 10. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid. What an impressive performance from Rob. They are currently leading the pack in this qualification session, showing incredible pace and skill. It's a commanding position for them, and they have set the bar high for their competitors. Rob has completed their outlap. A solid qualifying performance by Reinhold Gärtner, positioning them in second at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress, and Reinhold Gärtner has completed their outlap. Incredible drive by Megasaurus 55 so far. Megasaurus 55 has completed their outlap. Colin Burton has positioned themselves well in 7th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
Great analysis, Rob.
Colin Burton has completed their outlap. Eddie G has secured a respectable 5th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance?
You're absolutely right, Rob. Eddie's current position of 5th reflects their strong qualifying performance. Now, they'll need to strategize and capitalize on this starting position.
What a fantastic showing from Rob, always keen in qualifying. They currently hold the top spot and are in prime position for a strong starting position. Their lap times have been exceptional, and they have showcased their talent and determination.
You're spot on, Rob. Rob is showcasing exceptional skill and consistency in this qualifying session. It's a formidable position they hold, and their rivals will need to step up their game to challenge them.
A strong showing from Megasaurus 55 as they currently sit in 3rd. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Megasaurus 55's current position of third is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
It's an impressive showing by Reinhold Gärtner, currently in 5th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher? Reinhold Gärtner has just completed that lap in 2:35.026. Their best lap so far is 2:35.026, putting them in P5. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? Not the ideal start for Mr. Bang in this qualifying session. Currently in 14th position, they'll be eager to put together a strong final lap to improve their standing. The pressure is on, and they'll need to deliver their best performance.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Mr. Bang is facing a tough challenge, but they are known for their fighting spirit. This qualifying session is a test of their character, and I believe they have what it takes to overcome this setback.
Mr. Bang has completed their outlap. A tough outing for Chris Ilduke in qualifying today. They currently sit in 14th position, which is far from ideal. However, there's a chance for them to regroup, analyze their data, and make some adjustments to their setup to improve their result. Chris Ilduke has completed their outlap. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Maybe today Satan has just completed a lap in 2:38.443. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Megasaurus 55's really showing what they're made of, landing in second during this nail-biting session.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about precision and nerve in qualifying. Every millisecond can make a difference on the grid. Let's see if they can squeeze out even more speed. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
It's been a challenging session for Colin Burden. They're currently languishing in 13th position, which is not where they had envisioned themselves. But in motorsport, anything can happen, and with their skill and determination, Colin Burden has completed their outlap. It's been a challenging day for Mr. Bang in qualifying. They currently sit in 12th position, which is not reflective of their true potential. With the session nearing its end, they'll need to push hard and extract every ounce of performance to improve their... Mr. Bang has completed their first flying lap in 2:39.569. And there goes Chris Ilduke, currently in position 7. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. A challenging session for Dylan Franch so far. They're currently in 17th position, which is not where they wanted to be. But in motorsport, we've seen remarkable comebacks, and they'll be hoping to turn their fortunes around and secure a better result. Currently in 8th, Reinhold Gardner has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position.
Spot on analysis, Rob. Reinhold Gardner has positioned themselves well in 8th. It's now crucial for them to maintain their focus and defend their position in the upcoming race.
What a performance from Megasaurus 55. They currently occupy 2nd on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favorable starting spot?
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Megasaurus 55 has done a fantastic job to claim 2nd. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity.
It's a stellar performance from Megasaurus 55, clinching 2nd.
They're in a great spot, Rob, but in qualifying, complacency can be your worst enemy. They need to keep pushing the limits while staying cool under pressure.
Reinhold Gardner has put in a great effort and currently holds 5th. With the session winding down, can Eddie G's last lap at 2:35.447 has them languishing in 9th. Time slipping away, and they need to find some magic on the track.
Absolutely, Rob. It's crunch time, and they've got to push that Renault 5 Turbo Europa Cup viewer beyond its limits if they want to claw back into the top 5.
A solid performance from Eddie G as they currently hold position 9. However, Colin Burton's latest lap at 2:38.191 isn't cutting the mustard. They're sitting in 13th, which means there's a fair bit of ground to make up.
Yeah, Rob, it's a decent time, but in this game, decent won't get you to the podium. They'll need to dig deeper and find some extra pace.
A tough qualifying session for Colin Burton. They're currently mired in 13th position, which is a setback for their ambitions. However, they have the resilience and determination to learn from their mistakes and fight back in the race.
Absolutely, Rob. Colin Burton is facing a challenging situation, but they have the skill and determination to turn things around. It's not over until the checkered flag, and they still have a chance to improve their result.
Andreas Dittmann has completed their outlap. It's been a struggle for Dylan Franch in qualifying. As of now, they find themselves in 16th position, which is well below their expectations. However, motorsport is unpredictable, and there's still an opportunity for them to shine and move up the grid. Dylan Franch has just completed the lap in 2:39.858. Their best lap so far is 2:39.858, putting them in P15. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? Impressive display by Reinhold Gardner, currently sitting in position 6. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position. Reinhold Gardner's got their work cut out for them in 6th. Perhaps adjusting the gear ratios for better acceleration could help knock off a few tenths.
You're on the money, Rob. On a track with this many tight turns, quicker acceleration out of the corners could be key to a faster lap time.
A solid qualifying performance by Nathan, but there's a real buzz in the air as Nathan Vexler secures 2nd.
Right you are, Rob. They've put themselves in a solid spot, but they can't let up now. Staying smooth and focused is key to shaving off those extra fractions.
It hasn't been the best qualifying session for Colin Burton so far. They find themselves in 13th position, which is not where they looks like Colin Burton needs to put the pedal to the metal. That last lap times landed them in 11th, not where they'd want to be, especially with the session ticking away.
True, Rob. It's all about incremental gains. Every tenth of a second counts, and they've got to squeeze every bit of performance out of that Renault 5 Turbo Europa Cup viewer.
Impressive work from Joe Ergu, who has claimed 9th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
Absolutely, Rob. Jorg Yu has put in a remarkable effort to secure 9th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
A disappointing performance from Colin Burton so far in this qualifying session. Finding themselves in 11th position is certainly not what they were aiming for. However, they have the talent and experience to bounce back and salvage a better result. Disappointing performance from Dylan Franch in this qualifying session. currently in 15th position. They'll need to dig deep and find some extra speed to climb up the leaderboard and secure a better starting position for the race. I'm thinking Dylan Franch could benefit from tweaking their tyre strategy. That last lap at 2:39.146 isn't cutting it for 14th. A switch to a softer compound might give them the edge they need.
Spot on, Rob. A softer tire could provide that extra grip, but they'll have to manage tire wear carefully. It's a risky play, but it might just pay off.
It's an impressive showing by Eddie G, currently in 10th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher?
Couldn't agree more, Rob. Eddie G has positioned themselves impressively in 10th. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
Seems like Eddie G's struggling to find the sweet spot with their Renault 5 Turbo Europa Cup JUR. Sitting in 8th with a time of 2:34.621, they might want to consider adjusting the suspension setup for better handling.
Yeah, tuning the suspension could improve cornering stability, Rob. It's all about finding that balance between agility and stability on a technical track like this.
It's been a challenging day for Maybe Today Satan in qualifying. They currently sit in 13th. Maybe Today Satan might need to rethink their setup. That 2:37.516 isn't doing them any favors in 13th. Maybe tweaking the downforce for better grip could shave off a few precious seconds.
I agree, Rob. A bit more downforce on those corners at Hockenheimring 1988 GP could make a world of difference. But they'll have to be careful not to sacrifice too much top speed on the straights.
It's been a challenging session for Simon Barnes. They're currently languishing in 17th position, which is not where they had envisioned themselves. But in motorsport, anything can happen, and with their skill and determination, they might still turn things around. A challenging session for Maybe Today Satan so far. They're currently in 14th position, which is not where they wanted to be. But in motorsport, we've seen remarkable with Maybe Today Satan clocking at 2:37.516. They've got themselves a mountain to climb, stuck in 14th.
They're not out of the fight yet, Rob, but it's going to take some serious wheel work to make up that gap. The clock's ticking, and they need to make every lap count from here on out.
You've joined us on a breezy day here at Hockenheimring 1988 GP, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Starting from pole position is a great opportunity for Rob Keane to take control of the race.
But they will need to stay cool under pressure. If they can do that, they'll be in with a chance.
The second position belongs to Nathan Vexler. We're seeing Megasaurus 55 in the third spot.
Megasaurus 55 is looking on for a strong result.
And in the fourth position, it's none other than Jack M. Team.
Jack M. Team will be taking no prisoners today.
We see Maju sitting in the 5th spot. Starting from the 6th position, Reinhold Gärtner will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win. On the 7th grid slot we have Richard Rossier. Sunweiler is placed in 8th. The 9th starting position belongs to Eddie G, who will be looking to make up ground early on.
Another mid-pack start for Eddie G.
Our 10th place starter, Chris Il-Duke, is a driver who knows how to make up ground on the track. Zhou Erg-Yu is in a solid position starting from 11th on the grid.
The German driver will want to show what they're made of today.
Colin Burton has some work to do from 12th on the grid, but they're not out of the race yet.
Where can Colin Burton finish today?
Puppy Dog from Hell is going to be starting from 13th.
Puppy Dog from Hell won't be too disappointed with 13th.
Starting from 14th on the grid is a bit of a mixed bag for maybe today Satan. Starting from 15th on the grid is a decent position for Dylan Franch, all things considered.
We've seen great results from here. What has Dylan Franz got in store for?
The green signals the start of a rip snorter of a race. As they jockey about, it's all about not chucking a wobbly under pressure.
This opening stretch, it's like walking on eggshells. Gotta weave and dodge, all while keeping your foot on the gas.
Having started in 15, Dylan Franch will be looking to establish themselves in this race. You know, they say, steady as she goes, and that's exactly what Richard Rossier's doing. Holding on to 7, maybe they've got a trick or two up their sleeve for later. Well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit, Chris Il-Duke's on fire. What did they slip into their engine? A can of Foster's.
Well, whatever it is, they're surely making a statement. But the road's long, and they better keep their wits about them. I haven't seen a start this impressive since the days of my racing career. If Chris Il-Duke can maintain this level of focus, we're in for a thrilling race.
Establishing an early advantage will be crucial to the outcome of this race. The stewards will be hoping that there aren't too many incidents for them to pick over when the dust settles on this one.
All the drivers will be jostling for the best position run. Some of them may not make it to the second lap in one piece.
Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position?
I'm really looking forward to seeing how this race unfolds.
Gee whiz, Megasaurus 55 is breathing down Maju's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Maju's rearview mirror right now, it's getting crowded. Wow, Jack M team is really pushing hard to catch up to maybe today Satan. There's blood in the water for 15th place.
Jack M team is following maybe today Saban so closely, they could start charging them rent for occupying the same space on the track.
It's looking good for Jack M team, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and maybe today Satan. It's an intense battle for position as Mr. Bang tries to outmaneuver Dylan Franch. This is edge of your seat racing. Mr. Bang just blitzed past Dylan Franch like they were standing still.
Well, it's not just about speed, it's about strategy. But right now, Mr. Bang's showing a masterclass in both.
This is what separates the best from the rest. These drivers are demonstrating their racecraft, searching for any weakness to exploit. It's a true test of skill. It's a close race between Jack M team and Dylan Franch in 12th. Whoa there, Sunweiler is sticking to Richard Rossier like glue. You reckon Richard Rossier is feeling the pressure? 'Cause I sure would. The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Maju is razor thin as they vie for second in this nail-biting contest.
It's going to be a close one.
Breaking alert, Chris Hill-Duke stuffed it up. They're gonna need more than a coldie to forget that one. It's a game of inches now as Megasaurus 55 tails Maju closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? Things are getting spicy as Megasaurus 55 is breathing down Maju's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them. It would seem Joe Ergu is starting to get a bit frustrated here at being held up by Reinhold Garten. Hold on a moment. Looks like that's a mistake from Joe Ergu. This could be costly.
Yeehaw. Jorg Yu decided to do a little off-roading. Wrong event, partner.
The adrenaline is pumping as Eddie G gets within striking distance of Chris Hill-Duke in their race for 16th. Alright, hold your horses. Maybe today Satan is really putting the heat on Dylan French. If I were Dylan French, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop. Hold on to your hats, folks. Eddie G is right on the heels of Chris Hill-Duke, and we're in for a wild ride. The action is non-stop as Megasaurus 55 shadows Maju through every twist and turn, determined to claim second. Now that's how it's done. Megasaurus 55 rips through the track, while Maju watches the tail lights fade.
Go, go, go. That's what we want to see.
Dylan French is placed 13th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of maybe today's Satan, who is 1.4 seconds behind. Oh, hold on a second. Bloody hell. Sunoiler just took a quick detour to the outback. Maybe they saw a kangaroo on the track or something.
Well, slap my head and call me silly. Sunoiler just made a doozy of a blunder.
Maju seems to be putting the pressure on Megasaurus 55. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Maju gaining places and Megasaurus 55 losing them. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Whoops, Megasaurus 55's taken more spins than a dead or alive record. We got a close battle as Eddie G closes in on Simon Barnes. Hold on to your hats. Chris Hill-Duke is gunning for maybe today's Satan. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend? Crikey, Chris Hill-Duke's moving up faster than a cold one disappears on a hot day. They've clinched 15th. In your experience, Hal, what was the most challenging aspect of maintaining concentration during a race?
The most challenging aspect, Rob, was managing the various inputs and distractions during the race, from radio communication with the team to monitoring car performance and race strategy. It's a delicate balancing act that requires immense mental discipline.
Eddie G is running 13th. They are trying to catch Dylan French. Seems like Chris Hill-Duke is getting in range of Simon Barnes.
And they are poised to capitalize on any mistake, but who's going to make that mistake first?
Buckle up, Dylan French is all over Eddie G like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action? Chris Hill-Duke could be looking for a way up the inside of Simon Barnes.
Rubbing is racing. Let's hope they don't rub it too hard.
Struth, Chris Hill-Duke's lap time's slower than a roo with a limp. Wonder if they've had a few too many frothies last night. Simon Barnes is not waiting around to find out.
Well, tickle me pink. Chris Hill-Duke's lap time ain't exactly lighting up the track. Simon Barnes is making them eat dust like it's apple pie.
It's like David versus Goliath out there. Chris Hill-Duke just slung a stone and gained ground, while Simon Barnes is left searching for footing.
This race is heating up faster than a Barbie in summer. Chris Il-Duke's got that winning glint.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
With the way Simon Barnes is stalking maybe today's Satan, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning.
No room for error here. Jack M team is breathing down the neck of Puppy Dog from Hell, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. Remember when we thought Jack M team had peaked? Think again. They're harnessing every bit of downforce and it's making Puppy Dog from Hell's mirrors awfully busy. Let's talk about tire degradation. How does it affect the car's handling and what do drivers need to do to adapt? Hold that thought. Hold the phone. A great pass for Jack M team as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Puppy Dog from Hell has lost ground.
I've always said, it's not the car, it's the driver. And Jack M team's proving that point right.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. Mr. Bang is proper nipping at Puppy Dog from Hell's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell.
Should things go awry, Mr. Bang and Puppy Dog from Hell might find themselves giving a whole new meaning to the term tandem drifting, though I doubt they'd enjoy it as much as the spectators.
While Megasaurus 55 is not under immediate threat from Reinhold Gardner, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. It's a dynamic landscape out there. Megasaurus 55's shift to 7th is testament to that.
Racing's like good old southern barbecue, slow and steady. Maybe Megasaurus 55 is just marinating a bit before the big sizzle.
As a former driver, how did you manage the physical demands of racing?
It's all about preparation, Rob. Drivers undergo rigorous fitness training to build their strength, stamina, and flexibility. A proper diet and hydration plan is also essential to ensure peak performance on race day.
This is a thrilling battle as Colin Burton edges closer to Simon Barnes in their fight for P16.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Colin Burton should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Simon Barnes.
Oh no, what's this? Blimey. Maybe today Satan's just thrown another shrimp on the Barbie of mishaps. This one's burnt. The intensity is off the charts as Colin Burton hounds Simon Barnes, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
The slightest mistake from either driver could lead to a meeting with the barriers, and nobody wants an impromptu autograph session with the wall.
Fantastic move from Colin Burton, who has just gained a position.
It's like Colin Burton had an extra shot of espresso or something, jetting up to 15th.
Things are heating up as maybe today Satan closes in on Simon Barnes. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. And maybe today Satan has just won the place from Simon Barnes.
Absolutely, Rob. But there's still a long way to go in this race, and maybe today Satan can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
The track conditions are looking good here today. The drivers will be able to push the cars to the limit and it's going to make for some exciting racing. Blimey, Eddie's more eager to catch Wayne Pearson than a bloke at the bar at last call. Hope he's got the stamina for this chase.
The rubber's burning, the crowd's yearning, and Eddie's engine is churning to get past Wayne Pearson.
Talk about being caught in the middle. Simon Barnes is sandwiched between. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. I don't think that's the fastest way around Hockenheimring 1988 GP. It's a thrilling pursuit as maybe today Satan is right behind Colin Burton, keeping the pressure on for 15th place. Alright, hold up a mo. Reinhold Gardner has pulled into the pits. If I had $1 for every time Andreas Dittmann closed a gap like this, I'd have enough for a pint at the local. Get ready, maybe today Satan, the thunder from down under is coming. Well, if it isn't Mr. Bang, the wild wallaby of the track, hopping right off the tarmac.
Dang. Mr. Bang decided to cut loose like it's spring break, 89. Wrong party, pal.
Phew, talk about foreplay. Andreas Dittmann and maybe today Satan are really teasing us here. I haven't seen this much anticipation since my first date. Blimey, Colin Burton's gunning it in 15th. Just a whisker behind Wayne Pearson. Hope he's got his budgie smugglers on, cause things are about to get wet and wild.
In the theater of speed, this is the climax. Every move is a headline, every overtake a potential plot twist.
Every race has its highs and lows. Today, Colin Burton acquaints themselves with a new perspective at 16th.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Colin Burton needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
Oh, this is getting intense. Andreas Dittmann is just a few car lengths behind Colin Burton. Oh, this is getting intense. Colin Burton is just behind maybe today Satan.
As an experienced driver, I can tell you that Colin Burton must be laser focused on maybe today Satan's every move, looking for the slightest weakness to exploit.
It's pedal to the metal for Colin Burton, while maybe today Satan's still flipping through the radio channels.
If this were chess, I'd say
Hold on a second, that won't be ideal for Colin Burton.
Racing at Hockenheimring 1988 GP's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Today, Colin Burton got the lemon.
Andreas Dittmann is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. This ain't a track, it's a coliseum, and the gladiators are putting on one hell of a show.
It's like watching a cheetah chase its prey. Reinhold Gardner's got Richard Rossier in their crosshairs. Reinhold Gardner's on the back foot here, struggling to keep up with Richard Rossier like a dingo after a roadrunner. It's a brilliant day for racing, and the drivers are putting on a show.
Absolutely. What a great race we are witnessing today. These drivers are giving it their all, and it's a thrill to watch them compete at this level.
They're really pushing themselves and their machines to the limit, and it's paying off with some incredible driving.
It's a pleasure to be here today, Rob. You really can't beat the excitement of a good race, especially one as competitive as this.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Megasaurus 55 is closing in on Jack M team.
Each roar of the engine, each squeal of the tire is a chapter in this epic duel. Who'll pen the perfect ending?
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. It's not going to plan for Puppy Dog from hell. They are still behind Mr. Bang and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. Tell ya what, Chris Ilduke is trailing like my mate Dave after a bender. Hope there's no random testing today. Oh dear, Chris Ilduke has dropped down to 13th.
Well, change is the only constant. And in this dance, Chris Ilduke is certainly keeping us on our toes with that position shift.
Look at that, They're trading places in every turn, a constant game of cat and mouse. Each driver knows one mistake could cost them dearly.
No doubt about it, Rob. The battle for that same piece of tarmac is intense. The sparks flying in the close quarters racing showcase the incredible skill and nerve of these drivers.
It's true what they say, Hal, you're never completely useless.
Indeed, Rob, you can always be used as a bad example.
Hollywood couldn't script this better. Reinhold Gardner's shadowing Richard Rossia, waiting for the slightest misstep.
With just 0.6 seconds between them, will Reinhold Gardner be able to keep up the pace and make a pass?
Ever wonder about the unsung heroes of racing? The pit crew. I reckon their job's as hectic as a barman's on a Friday night in Sydney.
No doubt about it. It's like a pitmaster at a barbecue joint during a lunch rush. Everyone wants a piece, and they've got mere seconds to dish it out and make it perfect.
Things are heating up as Sunoiler tries to close the gap to Mr. Bang.
This is more than a race. It's a battle of wills, of nerve, of sheer determination.
This is where the true champions shine, and Rob Always Keen is certainly showing their class in the final sector. The leader has done it. What an incredible performance from Rob, who was simply untouchable today. This is a race that will go down in the history books.
And that's why Rob is one of the best in the business. A dominant display of driving from start to finish, leaving the rest of the pack in the dust.
Impressive second place finish for Maju. What a race from Nard and Vexler. They kept their cool and secured a well-earned third place on the podium. Richard Rossia brings home fourth. Finishing fifth and sixth is Reinhold Gardner and Megasaurus 55. Jack M team in seventh. Puppy Dog from Hell claim 8th. Sunoiler take 9th. Followed by Eddie G in 10th. Taking 11th is Mr. Bang. Coming in 12th we have Dylan Franch. 13th is Chris Hill-Duke. Andreas Dittmann end in 14th, with Wayne Pearson in 15th. Colin Burton in 16th. Maybe today Satan brings home 17th. Simon Barnes take 18th. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Hockenheimring 1988 GP as we're getting ready to get things underway.
The drivers are looking focused out there on the grid. I'm excited for this one, Rob.
Eddie G is on pole. Coming in at second, we have Sunoiler. Holding strong in third place is Puppy Dog from Hell.
Big things expected for Puppy Dog from Hell today.
At fourth, we have the one and only Jack M team. The fifth place on the grid belongs to Megasaurus 55, a driver with plenty of experience.
What can they do with that Renault 5 Turbo Europa Cup Euro from here?
Reinhold Gartner has qualified sixth. Richard Rossier is seventh. As the engines roar to life, Nathan Vexler prepares to take off from the 8th position on the starting grid.
But they're going to have to time their moves just right if they want to come out on top.
Maju will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from 9th on the grid. From the middle of the pack, we have Rob Keane in 10th place on the starting grid.
Mr. Bang isn't going to make it easy to get through the pack.
Mr. Bang will need to be on top of their game starting from 11th on the grid.
Where can Mr. Bang put that Renault 5 Turbo Europa Cup Euro?
Chris Ilduke has got their work cut out for them starting from 12th on the grid.
They're a fighter, and they won't give up until they've crossed the finish line.
Andreas Dittmann is lining up 13th. Starting from 14th on the grid is not ideal for Wayne Pearson, but they're a fighter.
But they're going to have to be aggressive if they want to make up ground on the leaders.
Wayne Pearson may not be starting from pole, but they're still in with a shot.
Wayne Pearson will be hoping for some good points today.
Starting from pole position is the perfect place for maybe today Satan to launch an attack.
But they will have to keep their foot on the gas in order to stay there.
The starting signal has been given, and the drivers face the uncertainty of the first lap. With cars packed tightly together, the potential for spins or collisions is high.
It's hotter than a July afternoon out there. One false move, and you're gonna feel the burn. These drivers, they gotta play it cooler than a cucumber in a bowl of hot sauce.
Fair dinkum, maybe today Satan is tearing up the track like they're late for a barbie, climbing the ranks like nobody's business. Stone the crows. Mr. Bang's off like a bull at a gate. That's how you bloody do it. Bit of a cruisy start for Jack M team, just filling out the track at Hockenheimring 1988 GP. You know, like a dingo sussing out the lay of the land.
Like gladiators they enter rock, but instead of lions and swords our champions fight in an arena of tarmac, and with fire-breathing machines of cutting-edge materials, designed to explore the very limits of physics itself in what can sometimes be very much a fight to the death.
Well, I'll be buggered. Joe Ergu's on fire right from the off. What did they slip into their brekkie? Rocket fuel.
Hitting 162.242990466308594 kilometers per hour is no joke, especially on a track like this. Jorg Hughes showing some real moxie, but they need to watch out for Simon Barnes lurking in the rear view.
All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up. Someone should tell Puppy Dog from hell this ain't a Sunday drive. Megasaurus 55's tearing up the track. This is what it's all about, folks. Mr. Bang is in hot pursuit of Richard Rosier, who's just trying to stay ahead.
Mr. Bang is so close to Richard Rosier that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Rob is breathing down the neck of Wayne Pearson, not giving him any room to relax. Eddie G wants to find a way round Maju.
There is no room for error in this battle.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
If Eddie G gets any closer, they might as well ask Puppy Dog from hell for a piggyback ride.
Gee whiz, Wayne Pearson is breathing down Nathan Vexler's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Nathan Vexler's rearview mirror right now. It's getting crowded. Chris Ilduke wants to close the gap with Colin Burden. Braking alert. Oi, Reinhold Gartner tried to pull a Steve Irwin and wrestle with the track limits. Track 1, Reinhold Gartner 0. Wow, Chris Ilduke is really pushing hard to catch up to Colin Burden. There's blood in the water for 9th place. I reckon they've had a few secret lessons down under. Chris Ilduke's just breezed into 9th. Oh no, what's this? Oh dear, Sunoiler has had an incident. Every gear shift, every pedal push, Megasaurus 55's got one goal in mind. Capturing Jack M-Team's spot. It's an intense battle for position as Eddie G tries to outmaneuver Puppy Dog from hell. This is edge of your seat racing. An impressive showing from Eddie G, who has gained positions and left Puppy Dog from hell in the dust.
Absolutely. Eddie G is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There are still plenty of challenges ahead.
You ever ponder how these drivers manage the heat, especially in the tight cockpit? It's hotter than a rude wait. Well, Jack M-Team's decided to give the local wildlife a closer look. I hope the drop bears didn't get to them. It's a tense battle for position between Nathan Vexler in 6th and Jack M-Team in 7th. Nathan Vexler is keeping Jack M-Team at bay with a gap of 0.1 seconds.
You're right. Nathan Vexler in 6th needs to stay cool under pressure and make every move count. But Jack M-Team is a fierce competitor, and they won't give up without a fight.
This braking update. Blimey, Rob Always Keen must have spotted a pub off the track. That's the only reason any self-respecting Aussie would swerve that way. It's a close race between Wayne Pearson and Eddie G in 5th. Someone's revved up after lunch. Wayne Pearson's blitzed ahead, claiming 5th.
Man, if racing was a barbecue, Wayne Pearson just threw down the spiciest ribs. Up to 5th and sizzling.
One thing I admire about Assetto Corsa Friends is the sense of community. It's not just about the competition, it's about coming together, sharing knowledge, and pushing the boundaries of the sport.
You nailed it. Every time they hit the track, it's a culmination of shared experiences, lessons learned, and an undying passion for the sport. It's heartwarming and exhilarating all at once.
Whoa there, Andreas Dittmann is sticking to Richard Rosier like glue. You reckon Richard Rosier's feeling the pressure? 'Cause I sure would.
If Andreas Dittmann gets any closer to Richard Rosier, they'll need to start sending out wedding invitations.
The gap between Chris Ilduke and Eddie G is razor thin as they vie for 6th in this nail-biting contest. Hold up a mo, Struth, Mr. Bang's having a real dog's breakfast of a moment. Look at Chris Ilduke trying to close that gap on Eddie G. Kind of like me trying to get close to a decent Barbie back home.
Barbie? Oh, you mean a barbecue. Yeah, but over here it's like trying to catch the last slice of pizza at a Super Bowl party.
It's a game of inches now as Simon Barnes tails Reinhold Gartner closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. I tell you what, Simon Barnes has got more problems than a maths book right now. Reinhold Gartner is leaving them in a cloud of dust. I think we just got time for a quick shout out to our human creators, Dave, Andy, John and Nigel, who have put so much effort into making this possible.
Yes, it's been a real thrill ride, and I for one can't wait to see what is coming next.
Apparently we are going to be announcing crashes and incidents soon. Let's hope they get the logic right. The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? Jack M team wants to get into Colin Burden's slipstream.
Do they have the speed for a move, and more importantly, do they have the talent?
Stone the Crows. Jack M team's going faster than a roux on the hop. Colin Burden's gotta step up their game now. This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? By the looks of it, Simon Barnes reckoned Hockenheimring 1988 GP had a hidden shortcut. Too bad there isn't one. Eddie G has the pedal to the metal chasing Chris Ilduke. Things are getting spicy as Jack M team is breathing down Colin Burden's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them.
If Jack M team pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during the race.
Colin Burden seems to be putting the pressure on Jack M team. Seems like Wayne Pearson is getting in range of Chris Ilduke. The adrenaline is pumping as Sunoiler gets within striking distance of Mr. Bang in their race for 15th.
This is the moment where legends are made. These drivers will go down in history as the ones who fought tooth and nail for the top spot.
Who needs speed dating when you've got incident alert? Well, that was a proper Barbie flip by Chris Ilduke. Too much snagger, not enough bun.
Well, slap my grandma. Chris Ilduke's gone off like they saw a ghost. Or maybe they just saw their last lap time.
Alright, hold your horses. Rob is really putting the heat on Colin Burden. If I were Colin Burden, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop. Whoa, Rob's on fire, leaving skid marks and Colin. Sorry to interrupt here, but now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
Whoa Nelly, looks like Colin Burden's been watching too much NASCAR, trying to drift on an F1 circuit.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Mr. Bang is right on the heels of Sunoiler, and we're in for a wild ride. The action is non-stop as Jack M team shadows Wayne Pearson through every twist and turn, determined to claim 5th. Well, Andreas Dittmann's spinning like my life in 2020. Someone get him a map? Or a therapist? With steely determination and laser focus, Richard Rossier is homing in on Joe Ergue. The battle lines are drawn.
Looks like Richard Rosier has got more moves than a cowboy in a honky-tonk bar. You better watch out or he'll be two-stepped right off the track.
Wayne Pearson could be looking for a way up the inside of Jack M team.
I might have said this before, but dog, bone, you know the rest.
Richard Rossier wants to find a way round Joe Ergue.
They need to keep it on the black stuff. You don't get points for driving over weeds, not in this game.
We got a close battle as Jack M Team closes in on Puppy Dog from Hell. Bloody hell, Jack M Team's tearing up the tarmac and just snatched fourth. Makes you want to crack a cold one in celebration. It's a nail-biting showdown between these three drivers. They're nose to tail, pushing their limits in every corner. By the looks of it, Hal, Chris Hill Dukes lost their Mozzie repellent cause Sunoiler's buzzing right past. Tough break for Chris Hill Duke, who has just lost a position.
Well, butter my biscuit. A bit of a hiccup for Chris Hill Duck, but they've got the grit to climb back up.
The pursuit is on. Richard Rossier is closing the gap on Joe Ergue, determined to claim P8. It may seem like Eddie G is far behind, but Puppy Dog from Hell can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Eddie G an opening to catch up.
Surely they've got enough in the tank to pull away. Gonna be interesting to watch this battle unfold.
Fair dinkum, I reckon Colin Burton's got that thirsty look in his eyes. Wants to share a cold one with Keane in the front. It's not looking good for Colin Burton. They are still behind Rob and the gap is increasing. They are gonna need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. Hold on to your hats. Chris Hill Duke is gunning for Mr. Bang. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend.
Now, that's some driving, y'all. Chris Hill Duck is putting the pressure on Mr. Bang. It's like watching a cat stalk a bird. They're inching closer with every turn.
Buckle up, Puppy Dog from Hell is all over Wayne Pearson like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action? It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. Ripper of a move. Sunoiler's not just in the race. They're owning it. Today, 12th.
Yes, Sunoiler is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
Colin Burton wants to get into Chris Hill Duke's slipstream. A twist in our tail. Colin Burton's slipping more than a bar of soap in a bath, now at 15th. No room for error here. Keane is breathing down the neck of Reinhold Gardner, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Richard Rossier is proper nipping at Joe Ergue's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunch? Only time will tell. Stone the Crows. Richard Rossier's on fire, surging ahead like there's a free round at the pub waiting. Hello, 8.
You can't argue with results like that. Richard Rossier is really making their mark on this race.
In a world where milliseconds matter, Jack M Team's grasp on the fourth speaks volumes.
Someone shook the board?
Seems so. Jack M Team's taken a slide, but knowing them, it's just a part of the dance.
Yes, but there's still plenty of race left. Jack M Team needs to stay calm and focused, and make their move when the time is right.
The intensity is off the charts as Richard Rossier hounds Keane, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
It's a battle of nerves now. Who will make the first mistake? Richard Rossier or Rob? This is high-stakes racing.
The gap between Jack M Team and Puppy Dog from Hell may be wide, but that doesn't mean Jack M Team is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
Jack M Team is setting the pace out there. Now, it's on Puppy Dog from Hell to find the rhythm and get back in this dance.
A tough moment for Jack M Team, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 11th. Sunoiler has the pedal to the metal chasing Mr. Bang.
And they are poised to capitalize on any mistake, but who's going to make that mistake first?
Sunoiler just blitzed past Mr. Bang like they were standing still.
Yes, but Sunoiler can't rest on their laurels. They have to keep pushing to consolidate their position.
Things are heating up as Reinhold Gardner closes in on Joe Ergue. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
Remember that time Reinhold Gardner made that audacious move on the last lap? Feels like deja vu, doesn't it, Rob?
Reinhold Gardner is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Joe Ergu at the moment. The chase music's playing in Puppy Dog from Hell's head as they reel in Reinhold Gardner, moment by nail-biting moment. Bloody oath, Puppy Dog from Hell is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to Reinhold Gardner down to a scant 0.5 seconds.
This is what racing is all about. It's anyone's game at this point. Who will come out on top?
If racing were a dance, Jack M Team would be trying to lead, but Puppy Dog from Hell just keeps cutting in. The dance floor is heating up.
Dang, Jack M Team is so far back, they're in a different time zone. Hope they remember it's race day, not laundry day.
Good news for Jack M Team, the gap to Puppy Dog from Hell has decreased. It's now down to 0.4 seconds.
This here's where the steel meets the pavement. Both drivers got to keep their cool if they're looking to take the checkered flag.
This race has turned into a game of cat and mouse. Sunoiler is the predator, with Colin Burton firmly in their sights. Hold that thought, hold the phone. Oh, Puppy Dog from Hell went off track. I know the feeling, just like my diet every weekend.
Well, butter my biscuit. Puppy Dog from Hell just did the hokey pokey right in the middle of the race.
Looks like Sunoiler is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control. Shoot, Rob, you ever seen a hound chase a rabbit? That's Sunoiler for ya, trying to close in on Colin Burton with every twist and turn of Hockenheimring 1988 GP.
Oh mate, maybe today Satan's impersonating a lost tourist. Did someone forget to tell them it's a race, not a bushwalk?
Sweet cornbread. Maybe today Satan must have thought there's a Walmart sale off the track the way they went off.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Sunoiler is right behind Colin Burton, keeping the pressure on for 12th place.
At this rate, Sunoiler and Colin Burton are so close, they could share a cup of tea and a biscuit.
They're going for the same piece of tarmac. Sparks are flying as they battle for position, daring each other to brake later and go deeper into the corners.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. The proximity of these cars is incredible. The precision and trust these drivers have in each other is truly remarkable.
Oh, the pressure is really getting to Eddie G. They've just lost 7th spot to Jack M Team and they need to regroup quickly.
Like my grandpappy used to say, if you're not first, you're last. Eddie's got to light a fire under that hood, especially with Jack M Team showing them how it's done.
You know, Hal, it's been a relatively quiet race so far.
That's right, Rob. The drivers seem to be pacing themselves and waiting for the right moment to make their move. It's like watching a slow dance.
It looks like Maju has found another gear in the last sector of the race.
It takes a special kind of driver to perform under pressure like this. Maju has certainly risen to the occasion.
It's all over. Maju has claimed victory in this race with a stunning drive that will be remembered for years to come. Clearly at the top of their game right now.
What a display of skill and precision.
What a fantastic race from Megasaurus 55, who brings it home in 2nd place.
Strong work securing 2nd place. Well done.
Excellent focus from Nathan Vexler to secure a fantastic 3rd place on the podium.
What a drive. Well-deserved spot on the podium with that performance.
In 4th, it's Rob Keane. Taking 5th is Richard Rossier. Coming in 6th we have Joe Ergu. Jack M Team claims 7th. Reinhold Gardner end in 8th. With Chris Ilduke in 9th. 10th is Eddie G. Followed by Sunoiler in 11th. Mr. Bang in 12th. Puppy Dog from Hell take 13th. Colin Burton brings home 14th. 15th sees Andreas Dittmann. Maybe today Satan claim 18th. Coming in 16th we have Wayne Pearson. Taking 17th is Simon Barnes.